June 19, 1944, 23,000 feet above the Philippine Sea, east of Saipan. The Pacific looks calm from this height, a wide blue sheet stretching forever, but the calm is a lie. Inside the cockpit of his American fighter, sweat beads under the pilot's helmet despite the cold altitude air. The engine vibrates through the metal frame, a steady, violent heartbeat. Oxygen hisses softly in his mask. Every sense is tuned tight, because he knows this morning is going to end with fire falling into the ocean. The pilot is a lieutenant, barely in his 20s, flying a American F6F Hellcat, a thick-bodied, heavy fighter the Japanese pilots love to mock. Too bulky, too slow, a brick with wings, they say. In earlier encounters, Japanese Zeros had danced around it, twisting and turning like knives. At least, that is what they believed. Below him, sunlight reflects off scattered clouds. To his left and right, American carriers are tiny grey scars on the sea. This patrol is supposed to be routine. Scan, deter, return. But war never respects schedules. At 7:42 hours, the radio crackles. A tense voice cuts through the static. Multiple bogies, bearing northwest. High altitude, fast. The lieutenant tightens his grip on the control stick. He banks slightly, climbing. His Hellcat strains upward, engine roaring louder, propeller clawing at the thin air. As the nose rises, he squints through the canopy. At first, he sees nothing. Then small dark specks appear near the sun itself. Japanese fighters. A lot of them, the lieutenant counts quickly. 1, 2, 3. Then more sliding into view. A full squadron, maybe more. At least a dozen aircraft, possibly 15. Mitsubishi A6M0s, light, agile, and deadly in the hands of experienced pilots. They are higher than him, stacked neatly in formation, confident, disciplined. They have the altitude advantage, and altitude is life in air combat. The American pilot should turn back. That would be the safe move. He is outnumbered, alone, and far from friendly cover. But safety is not the mission. The mission is to stop them from reaching the fleet. He climbs harder, pushing the engine toward its limits. The Hellcat responds with raw brute force. It is not elegant, but it is powerful. Japanese pilots underestimate that power every time. The sun sits directly behind the enemy formation, blinding white, washing the sky in glare. The lieutenant smiles behind his oxygen mask. This is not luck. This is opportunity. He adjusts his angle, positioning himself slightly below and offset, hiding his approach in the sun's burning halo. From the Japanese perspective, he does not exist. They are scanning the blue below, expecting American fighters to rise toward them in desperation. They do not expect one to come from the sun itself. The distance closes fast. The roar of the engine fills the cockpit. His guns are armed. 6.50 caliber machine guns, hundreds of rounds each, loaded and ready. He lines up the lead zero in his GUN SIGHT dot at 400 yards. He squeezes the trigger. The Hellcat shudders as all 6 guns open fire at once. Tracer rounds streak forward, invisible for a split second, then glowing red as they tear into the sky. The first Zero never sees it coming. Rounds punch through its wing root and cockpit. The aircraft jerks violently, then bursts into flame. Pieces shear off as it rolls downward, trailing black smoke. One kill. The Japanese formation explodes into chaos. Pilots scatter, breaking formation, diving, climbing. twisting away from the unexpected attack. Shouts fill their radios, warnings, curses, confusion. The lieutenant does not slow down. He barrels straight through the formation, firing short, controlled bursts. Another Zero crosses his gun sight. He leads it slightly and fires. The rounds walk across the fuselage. The engine catches fire. The pilot bails out too late. The plane disintegrates as it hits the ocean to kills. He punches through the enemy group and dives hard, trading altitude for speed. The Hellcat screams as it plunges, gravity pressing him into his seat. Above him, Japanese fighters try to turn and follow, but they bleed speed in their tight turns. The American aircraft keeps accelerating. At low altitude, he pulls up sharply, climbing back toward the fight. The sky is now a swirling mess of aircraft, contrails, smoke, and falling debris. This is no longer a patrol. This is a brawl at 20,000 feet. The lieutenant spots a Zero locked onto his tail. He does not panic. He pushes forward, then snaps into a steep climb. The heavier Hellcat should stall first, according to Japanese training. But the Zero stalls instead. Its nose wobbles. That is all the opening he needs. He rolls over the top and fires. The Zero erupts in flame mid-air. 3 kills. And the battle has only just begun. The third Zero spirals downward, burning bright against the blue, and for a brief moment the lieutenant allows himself one controlled breath. The sky around him is no longer orderly. It is fractured, violent, alive. White contrails slice in every direction. Black smoke stains the air where aircraft were alive seconds ago. The ocean below waits silently, ready to swallow whatever falls. His Hellcat is still climbing, clawing back altitude. He knows this fight will be decided above, not below. Altitude means choice. Choice means survival. Japanese pilots regroup quickly. They are veterans, many of them, trained in fluid teamwork and aggressive pursuit. For Zeros swing toward him from the right, spreading out to box him in. Their plan is simple. Force him to turn. Bleed his speed. Finish him when the Hellcat becomes heavy and slow. They still believe the old rules apply. The lieutenant shoves the throttle forward until the engine howls in protest. The Hellcat surges ahead, nose dipping slightly as it accelerates. He does not turn. He does not dodge. He runs straight for the sun again, using its glare like a curtain. Tracer fire streaks past his canopy. One round punches through the wing, rattling the cockpit. He feels it in his bones, but keeps going. Speed builds. The Hellcat trembles, heavy but unstoppable. At the last second, he breaks upward into a sharp climbing roll. The Japanese pilots try to follow, pulling back hard on their sticks. Their lighter aircraft climb fast, but not fast enough. Their engines scream. Airspeed drains away. The lieutenant crests the top of his climb and rolls inverted. The world flips. Sky becomes sea. He spots one Zero hanging beneath him, nearly stalled, nose high, vulnerable. He fires a short burst. The .50 caliber rounds rip through the Zero's fuel tank. The aircraft vanishes in a sudden orange bloom, shockwave flashing across the lieutenant's canopy. 4. He does not count it aloud. He counts it in instinct. Another Zero flashes past his left wing, too fast, too close. The Japanese pilot overshoots, unable to slow down in time. The lieutenant yanks the stick, rolling hard, forcing G-forces into his body until his vision tunnels. He lines up the retreating aircraft and fires. The rounds shred the tail. The Zero snaps into an uncontrollable spin. The pilot never recovers. 5. The radio erupts now. American voices shouting warnings, excitement, disbelief. Japanese voices overlap in panicked bursts, orders breaking down into fragments. This is no longer coordinated combat. This is survival. The lieutenant's Hellcat is scarred now. Oil pressure flickers. A warning light blinks. He smells fuel. But the engine keeps pulling, stubborn and violent. Exactly as Grumman engineers promised it would. To Zero's approach from above, diving together. He sees them early. The sun is behind him now, turning them into silhouettes. He angles his aircraft slightly, presenting a false path, inviting them closer. They take the bait at the last instant. He snaps into a high-speed split maneuver, diving sharply while rolling. The Zeros try to follow but break formation. One dives too steeply and overshoots again. The lieutenant pulls up behind it and fires from close range. The Zero disintegrates, pieces tearing free and tumbling into open air. 6. The second Zero tries to climb away. The lieutenant stays low, builds speed, then climbs straight after it. This time, the Japanese pilot understands the danger and tries to turn. The Hellcat does not turn with him. It climbs through him. As they cross paths, the lieutenant fires upward. The rounds smash through the Zero's underside. The engine explodes. The aircraft folds in half and vanishes into Cloud. 7. His breathing is heavy now. Sweat runs down his back. His arms ache from constant strain. The sky is quieter than before. Fewer aircraft, fewer threats, but not none. 2 remaining Zeros circle at a distance, cautious now, no longer confident. They have watched their squadron die in pieces, not in glorious turning combat, but in sudden brutal strikes from above. Their training tells them to attack. Their instincts tell them to leave. One commits. He dives hard, firing wildly. Tracers streak past the Hellcat's nose. The lieutenant holds steady, waiting until the Zero fills his gun sight. He fires one controlled burst. The Zero erupts instantly. 8. The last Japanese pilot turns away, pushing his aircraft to its limits, trying to escape east. The lieutenant follows, climbing steadily, refusing to rush. He knows this moment. He has the altitude. He has the speed. The outcome is already decided. He lines up from above, the sun once again at his back. At 300 yards, he fires. The final Zero shudders, then plunges toward the sea. Trailing smoke and flame. 9. The sky falls silent, except for the steady roar of the Hellcat's engine. For several long seconds after the 9th Zero falls, the lieutenant does not move. He keeps flying straight, eyes scanning every corner of the sky, waiting for something else to come screaming out of the blue. In air combat, silence can be more dangerous than noise. Ambush lives in quiet moments, but nothing comes. No contrails, no glint of wings, no radio warnings. Just open sky and scattered smoke columns slowly dissolving into the wind. 9 Japanese aircraft are gone. The ocean below is already closing over them, erasing the evidence with indifferent waves. The lieutenant finally exhales. His hands are shaking now that the fight is over. Adrenaline drains away, leaving exhaustion in its place. His Hellcat is wounded. The right wing leaks fuel in a thin, shimmering stream. The engine temperature creeps upward. He checks his instruments again and again, Counting heartbeats between each gauge needle, the radio crackles. Friendly voices break through, urgent and disbelieving. Pilots asking if the kills were shared, if he needs escort, if what they saw was real. He answers simply. He is still flying. He is heading home. As he turns back toward the carrier group, the enormity of what just happened begins to settle in. This was not a skirmish. This was not luck. This was a calculated slaughter built on altitude, speed, discipline, and restraint. He never turned when he did not need to, never chased when it was dangerous. Every attack came from advantage. Below, American ships come in to clear a view. Gray decks cutting through the Pacific like moving islands. Signal lights flash as his Hellcat approaches. Damaged crews are already standing by. They saw the smoke. They heard the radio traffic. They know something extraordinary just happened. He lowers his landing gear. The aircraft shudders, but obeys. The deck rises fast, filling the canopy. He lines up carefully, ignoring the pain in his arms and neck, focusing on the wire. The arresting hook slams down. Impact. The Hellcat hits the deck hard. The hook catches. The aircraft jerks violently, throwing him forward against his harness. Then everything stops. For a moment, there is only ringing silence. Then the deck erupts. Crewmen run toward the aircraft, pointing at the holes in the wings, the scorched fuselage, the leaking fuel. Someone climbs onto the wing and peers into the cockpit, eyes wide. How many? Someone shouts. The lieutenant removes his oxygen mask slowly. His voice comes out hoarse. 9. The word ripples across the deck like an electrical shock. 9 kills in one battle, against a numerically superior enemy, against pilots who believed themselves untouchable. Word spreads fast, faster than aircraft, faster than official reports. By the afternoon, other squadrons are already talking about the fight east of Saipan, about the American fighter that refused to turn, about the pilot who used the sun like a weapon and altitude like a hammer. On the Japanese side, the effect is even deeper. Survivors who heard the radio traffic, who saw the smoke columns, who watched aircraft disappear without warning, carry the story back to their bases. They describe an American fighter that did not behave the way it was supposed to, one that climbed when it should have stalled, one that attacked without warning and vanished before retaliation. Pilots begin requesting reassignment. Commanders notice hesitation. Routes are adjusted. Patrol zones quietly shift away from that stretch of sky. No formal order is written, but the message is understood. Flying there means death. The balance of air power in the Pacific is changing, and moments like this are the reason why. Not because of heroics alone, but because doctrine is being rewritten in real time. Speed over turning, altitude over elegance, surprise over pride. The lieutenant does not think about any of that as he climbs down from his aircraft. He feels the deck sway beneath his boots. He smells oil and salt and burned cordite. His knees nearly give out as the last of the adrenaline fades. A corpsman steadies him. Someone presses a canteen into his hand. He takes a long drink and looks back at his Hellcat. It looks ugly, scarred, heavy. Alive Japanese pilots mocked this fighter once. They called it clumsy, inferior, a machine that could not dance. After today, no one laughs. By late afternoon, the fight has already escaped the sky and entered legend. On the carrier's ready room wall, a rough map is chalked up, marking the coordinates of the battle. Pilots stand around it in silence, replaying every move, every climb, every dive. They are not cheering. They are studying. In war, survival belongs to those who learn fastest. The lieutenant sits on a bench nearby, flight jacket open, helmet resting at his feet. His face is pale now, eyes sunken from exhaustion. Officers come and go, asking the same questions in different ways. How did you enter the fight? Where were they relative to the sun? Why did you refuse to turn with them? He answers patiently, methodically, not like a hero, but like a technician explaining a machine. Because that is how he sees it. The Hellcat is not magic. The enemy was not foolish. This was a problem of physics and psychology. The Japanese pilots trusted their reputation too much. They expected a turning fight. They expected fear. They expected the American to react. Instead, he dictated everything. That lesson spreads faster than any official memo. By the next morning, pilots across the task force are climbing higher before patrol. They are using the sun aggressively. They are breaking contact when advantage fades instead of forcing a duel. The air war shifts by degrees, then by miles. Across the ocean, on Japanese airfields carved into island jungles, the effect is darker. Briefings become tense. Loss reports grow longer. A full squadron gone. No confirmed American losses. Senior pilots speak carefully now. They warn younger flyers not to chase, not to turn instinctively, not to underestimate the thick American fighters with their brutal engines and heavy guns. Some pilots listen, some do not. Weeks later, when American fighters appear high and silent, when attacks come suddenly from the glare of the sun, fear creeps into cockpits that once felt invincible. The myth of dominance cracks. The Zero is still agile, still deadly, but it is no longer untouchable, and the location of that original fight becomes something else entirely. Not just coordinates on a map, but a warning. Stories circulate. Aircraft disappearing. Squadrons mauled before they can react. Pilots who enter that airspace begin checking their mirrors too often, second-guessing every shadow. Back on the carrier, the lieutenant is ordered to rest. He sleeps for nearly 12 hours straight, body finally claiming what the mind refused to release. When he wakes, the war is still there. Engines roar, radios crackle. Men die somewhere beyond the horizon. He flies again. Not every mission ends in fire and victory. Some end quietly. Some end with losses. But the reputation remains. Not just his, but the Hellcat's. An aircraft once mocked, now treated with caution. An enemy once confident, now calculating risk. This is how air superiority is built. Not in a single day, but through days like this. Through moments when one pilot, in one machine, shows what happens when preparation meets opportunity, and fear is denied its voice. The Pacific War will grind on for months still. There will be larger battles, more famous names, greater numbers, but somewhere in that vast blue sky, there will always be the memory of a morning when 9 aircraft fell and the balance shifted just enough to matter.